dancers.
This is where it all starts.
Are we in frame?
We are in frame. I got it on 0.5.
Okay.
So, welcome to the chat. It's Grandmaster Bass and Jamie J Flow on the track again. We're just having a little chat about music theory, and she was hipping me to some stuff, and I was like, man, we need to be recording this conversation. It's not really out there a lot, but you were giving us some insight on the upbeat, downbeat, counting, because this is not something people often think about when it comes down to being a dancer and how to express yourself on the music. It's often talked about, like, oh, dance on beat, oh, you're off beat, but these things, you don't usually get information online about it, so there needs to be somewhere where this stuff is happening at, and we're just here to bring that to you here at Danzversity's Corner.
Yes. So just to like rewind, the way I learned how to count music was in high school, and we were given a track during dance class, and we had to sit down and count the tempo. So if you think about your class, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In music, you can find that. It's usually the heartbeat of the song, and that's usually the downbeat.
Yeah.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What happens when we speed up the count? So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. Do you hear the and in there?
Yeah.
And usually those are your hi-hats, your cymbals, your upbeat tempo. So usually foundation is on the downbeat.
Okay.
It's the heartbeat of the song that keeps you aligned with the song. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. Do you see how the count speeds up?
Yeah.
Right? So you have your downbeat, part, and in traditional, music with live drums, that's your clave, the wooden, almost like the cowbell, right? But it's in what we hear in our music is the drum, the boom, boom, boom. That's your steady. So when you're creating your dance, if you're teaching beginners, for example, keeping them on the downbeat so they have a chance to connect with the music. Then you can throw in some up tempos and some upbeats in there. And so, that's the way I interpret it. And another thing that helps is hearing a variety of music. So go listen to, reggaeton, go listen to hip hop, go listen to Afro beats, go listen to Afro-Cuban, go listen to, cumbias. Find that downbeat in every song and try counting it, finding that tempo and that rhythm. Then your brain starts recognizing and putting it into place with the steps that you want. So if you're doing a step touch, 1, 2. Then you do a triple step, 3 and 4. See how it speeds up? So that's where your counts come in with your step variety. Yeah.
That's deep knowledge, man, for real. Because I was telling you, no one had ever really talked to me about anything besides just you're off beat or that's on beat, but like you never get that explained to you how to actually listen. And I think it's really important for a dancer to be able to listen to music correctly, because I'm even finding, as I'm working with the younger students and the younger dancers, and even the more adult dancers, I'm finding better ways to communicate to them how it is to actually connect with the music, so that you're expressing what you hear and not just expressing random movement. So like listening begins with a full body movement, listening to the full body movement first. That's usually your groove.
And that's the groove. It's
Yeah.
the heartbeat of the song.
Yeah, and that's where you're listening. And once you hear that, that's you feeling it. And when I say hear it, I mean like you actually feel in your body how this is, what instrument this is
Right.
happening on.
Right.
There's an instrument that this is happening on. So as a dancer, the more, it's not just about knowing the dance moves. You also need to know what a cymbal sounds like, what a clap sounds like, what 808s are, what a tambourine sounds like, what a synthesizer sounds like. And all knowing what those things sounds like gives you a better ear for what your body is hearing, is how I like to refer to it,
Right,
what your
right.
body is hearing.
Yeah,
Um,
and like you said, knowing the different parts of the song and what you want to connect to at what time. So you can be on the instruments at one point and then the lyrics at another.
Yeah.
But it's a different thing when you're teaching. Like, how do
Yeah.
you deliver that? How do
Yeah.
you explain that? Right? How do you break it down for your students?
Yeah.
That's the importance there. It's like you can be hearing it all day and know what you're talking about, but when you're explaining it to people, to be able to tell them, this is where we're at. And that's why sometimes you don't even need the music if you have the counts.
Yeah,
Because
true.
the counts keep you on,
Yeah, yeah,
and everyone knows where we're at.
yeah, that's very important, especially when it comes down to instructor people, being able to communicate what you actually hear
Right.
versus just do it on this sound or just keep up with me. Like, everybody doesn't learn the same. So
Right.
being able to express yourself as an instructor in a various different amount of ways helps you reach more people, which that's your goal. I always say, like, your goal is not, as an instructor, we're gonna switch the topic a little bit, but as an instructor, your goal is not to teach the best person in the class. Honestly, they don't need you to teach them.
Right.
Your goal is to do your best to make sure the weakest person in the class is connecting,
Exactly.
you know, and if you're doing that, then you're actually doing a service as an instructor. Other than that, you're just, doing a service for yourself. You're not doing your whole job. Your job is to make sure that you're communicating what knowledge you have to the people who need it most. And those people who need it most are not always going to be the people that are getting it right away. They need you a lot less. So to tie it back in, the most important thing is definitely being able to, as an instructor for sure, being
Break it
able
down.
to break it down. Yeah,
Period.
and actually be able to show people what you're hearing so they can connect to it giving them an opportunity to connect to it much faster. You do that by learning about
Right.
music theory, by learning about music theory as a dancer from a dancer's perspective. So that means what the instruments sound like, what they are, and how to count and how to do onomatopoeias. Because sometimes the beat won't be easy to catch with a 1, 2, 3, 4. Sometimes you'll have to boom cat your
Yeah,
way.
exactly. Exactly.
Through.
But if you have the heartbeat, all of the extra is in there, but you can always find home. And going back to teaching, it's like a math problem, right? If you don't know how to rework the problem, you don't know how to solve it. So in dance, similarly, if you're feeling like you're teaching to the best person in the room and you don't know how to break it down, then you've skipped how to actually solve the sentence, which I call choreography. It's a sentence. It's a line of 8 counts, right? And everything that you put in between. So you have to be able to take each sentence and break it down for all your people in the room. And if you can do that, then you can teach.
Let's expand on what your mindset is on choreography. You said it's like a sentence, so can you expand on that a little bit more? On
Yeah.
what that entails.
I think when I teach, I always I break it down sentence by sentence, and I tell people this isn't. You can interpret it as the word choreography, which is intimidating for a lot of people, or you can say take one sentence at a time. So when we're doing our first sentence, we celebrate that we accomplished that first sentence. And it's also, you know, once I give you the sentence, then you interpret your story using that sentence. So now you can put in your groove and your personality. I gave you the words in the sentence, along with the tempo and what, you know, what I wanted to share with you. And then from there you take it and you make it your story, your sentence. And I think, you know, when you talk about choreography and you bring it down and kind of ground people, it's not as scary. And if you know how to break down movement, it's even less scary. And you will have more people on board with you. So that is the goal here, at least at Danzversity, is I want people to grow. I want them to understand where movement's coming from, inner first. I can give you moves and sentences and counts and all of that, but it's because we're breaking it down that you understand how to do that.
Let me make sure it's still recording.
Yes, it is. Good.
We're
so,
like,
oh my God, we were cooking. So sad. So I also kind of wanted to make sure we're doing this because, like I said earlier, there's not a lot of these types of conversations going on. And these are the types of conversations when I was starting to take dance more seriously and wanting to learn and didn't have access to anything but YouTube. This is the stuff I was looking for to get better. So I used to call it like secret knowledge because if you can't find it, it's like it's secret. It's like you can only hear it word of mouth through having a conversation with somebody like me or somebody like you. You know, then you'll be like somebody, like you'll get the information. But if you don't have access to that, you're scouring the internet for that. So that could be like a niche that I felt like we could definitely fit ourselves into because we have conversations like that all the time. Like not just between me and you, but multiple people that we run into. So just having a place where that knowledge can live, I think is going to be super important. And one of those questions, another one of those questions is, how do you actually come up with choreography? Like, what is the process?
So for me, at least,
What's your process?
my first thought process, it's not picking the song. It's not what do I want to dance. It's what can my students learn from what I'm creating. That is my first thought. I have their best interest first.
That's interesting.
My likes, what I would like to be doing is secondary. For me, when I'm creating, I'm saying, okay, I have this many people in the room. Can they pick up this step? It's not me forcing the step because I have this ego of wanting them to pick up what I create. It's me reverse thinking and saying, okay, could a beginner learner get this step? And if I feel it's too hard, then I rewind. But again, I'm speaking from someone stepping in the room for the first time, wanting to learn, taking the time to come in here and learn from me, driving here, getting here, committing to be here. That is my thought process. So I know this is going in a little tangent, but I'm always thinking of the student first.
Okay, so that's your first step.
So secondly, the way I create is I have a playlist of songs just running through, and each song inspires me a different way. So I know that there is the other approach of picking a song and being very detailed into it, and I have done that. It is awesome, but my creativity happens when I have different songs inspiring me to add on.
Okay. Yeah. Just continue to take us through your creative process.
So, yeah, again, this is mine, right? My creative process. There's so many unique ways to do it.
Yeah,
but
there will be generalities amongst,
right.
but definitely hearing from a dancer, like how they go about it is such rich information.
Yeah, and that's the way I create. I throw
So
in.
step one.
If you're
Where
teaching,
yeah.
if you're teaching, now if you're doing it for yourself, go. But I'm coming from, if you are in charge